everybody. If you're watching on Facebook, this is a market update for the real estate market in September of 2023. I'm Margo Weatherford. I'm a real estate broker and team owner of Sea to Summit Properties with eXp Realty. We're located in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. And I wanted to come to you guys today just to give you an overview of what the real estate market is doing right now and how we are seeing things shift and change, especially with the impact of inflation. And of course, we have the meeting of the Fed coming up. Interest rates in the mortgage industry will be impacted by this. So what I wanted to talk about, first of all, is what are the statistics in the marketplace right now? So what are we seeing, not just in the markets that I work, but nationwide as it relates to months of inventory available? I'll explain what that is, days on the market, and also median price points. So months of inventory. Well, again, my slideshow isn't working, but months of inventory is essentially letting you know if it's a buyer's market or if it's a seller's market. And today, nationally, we have 3 months of inventory, 3 months of inventory on average. So this would indicate that we're still in a very strong seller's market. So if you have property that you're thinking about selling, check that off your list. Good news, it's still a good time for you to sell. The second metric that we look at is days on market. So something interesting that's happening with days on market right now is that days on market are increasing from what they were this time last year. Again, I work in several markets across 3 states. So I have access to not only statewide data or local data in those states, but also national data. And of course, real estate is hyperlocal. So you could be in your neighborhood and say, oh my gosh, the market is so much different than what Margo is telling me right now. And that's just because real estate is hyperlocal. So anyways, days on market nationally right now has seen a little bit. What does that mean? Well, it's taking a little bit longer for homes to go under contract. When they hit the market, 15 days is the average days on market for a property to be listed before it goes under contract. Something that I would contribute to this is that homeowners are still looking for maximum top dollar amounts on their properties. And even though property rates have risen, we have seen a little bit of a calm, I would call it, this year as it relates to prices. So even though your home now is worth more than it was in 2010, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily worth 20% more than it was this time last year. And then the third piece that we look at, of course, is, so we talked about average days on market, the median sales price. Median sales price right now nationally is sitting around $350,000 to $400,000 for a residential property. So we're not talking about commercial here, we're just talking about residential. Of course, real estate being hyperlocal, you might say, well, Margo, in my market, the median sales price is $1 million, or in my market, the median sales price is $100,000. But we're just talking across the board nationally, and what I'm seeing in the states that I service is around, I'd say 375 to 400. And that trend line has increased year over year. So even though you can't see my slide, we are seeing an increase in median sales price, and we don't foresee that going down. So even though days on market, homes might be sitting a little bit longer than they were last year, the sales price of homes is still high. So those are very important metrics to note if you're considering selling a property or if you're looking at buying property. The next piece that I wanted to discuss is, what should you sell right now? So again, with interest rates not being what they were, interest rates are not at 2.5%, 3%, even 4% right now. I think a 30-year fixed with a solid credit score is probably sitting around 7%. Obviously, this impacts your monthly mortgage payment. But what I would say is if you're considering selling property, or if you are going to put a property on the market and you're thinking, well, who are my buyers even going to be? They're probably not going to be primary home buyers. What properties I would consider selling right now are investment properties, second homes, vacant land, or just personal motivation. So if you've had a family change, God forbid, maybe you're separating, you're getting divorced, you have a job transfer, maybe you're having a baby and you need a larger home, or you need to downsize, and move to a single level home. Whatever your needs may be, I would definitely recommend, investment properties, second homes, and vacant land. Those markets are still moving pretty quickly in all of the states that I service. If you are in your primary residence and you're thinking about selling it, doesn't mean that now is the wrong time to sell. It's just you're not going to lock in on the same interest rate that you did if you bought at a 2.5% or a 3%. So reasons to sell now versus wait. There's really 3 that I wanted to hit on. The first are tax implications. Please talk to your CPA to see if now is a good time for you to sell. Maybe if you look at all of your books from this year, selling a property would actually benefit your bottom line as it relates to the taxes that you owe at the end of the year. So check that out. Number 2 would be a 1031 exchange. Maybe there's an investment property that you'd like to own. For example, let's say that you own a house, an investment property on the beach right now, and you really want to buy vacant land for hunting. I don't know, I'm just giving an example, but you can do a 1031 exchange and defer capital gains taxes. So I'm happy to talk more about that with you, put you in touch with someone who you can talk to. And then, of course, the third reason would just be personal. Bottom line is to look at your equity position. So how much equity do you have in the property, and does it make sense for you to sell? What are your goals as it relates to the money that you gain? What are you going to do with the proceeds? So I just wanted to give you guys kind of a rundown of what the real estate market is doing. A lot of questions as it relates to what is going to happen with the real estate market, not just the real estate market, but what's going to happen in our US economy as we go into fourth quarter, as we go into 2024. And I would say, based on the economists that I follow, we're actually going to see a decrease in mortgage interest rates. So where we're at a 7.5 right now, we're probably going to be at a 5 by the end of this year or early next year. And that's going to open up the market for a lot of buyers, pent-up buyer demand, folks that have been waiting to sell until interest rates go back down. So that's something else to consider. If you are a buyer in the marketplace right now, you may have an upper hand if you buy now, as opposed to if you wait and there's 15 other buyers that you're competing with again, like we did in 2021. So just some things to think about. On my next Facebook Live, I will be bringing on one of our mortgage lenders to talk about 2-1 buy downs and some different interesting opportunities that you have as a buyer, just to save money and also set yourself up in a strong position moving forward into 2024. So if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can message me, call me, or text me. I'll post my cell phone number. And we look forward to helping you and serving you in the real estate field. Thank you.